It has been a breakthrough year for Sam Pittman and the Hogs. Now this one would be a breakthrough. All right, we got Ty Hudson on the line from Pig Trail Network to help us talk Arkansas football as always. Hey, Ty.
Hey, yo, what's going on, Mark? How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. What you been up to?
You know, just living the dream. Just living the dream, Mark. That's what I've been doing, one day at a time.
All right. This Arkansas LSU game went down to the wire, obviously, going to overtime. Give us the good, give us the not so good from the Hogs side. Not too many points on the board.
Well, I mean, so Arkansas kind of has this expectation now, or Razorback fans do, that their defense at the halfway mark is just going to fold. That's what happened last year, and I think a lot of that had to do with injuries and just, quality of depth concerns. And that seemed to be the case this year. About halfway through the year, I would argue probably after Georgia or during Georgia, you kind of felt like, well, there it is. But maybe that's just because it's Georgia. And they're Georgia. They're clearly the best team in the country. So maybe not. And then you fast forward and you get through, you get through Ole Miss, who just walks up and down the field and makes it look easy. Okay, well, all right, they've done that to everybody. And then Auburn kind of has some really easy drives and were able to get things done. And Arkansas wasn't getting consistent pressure on Bo Nix. There's just these things that tend to happen. And we're only 2 years, right, with the Odom era as defensive coordinator. But it seemed to be like this is going to be the case now. From here on out at the halfway point, or at least this season, they're just going to fold at the halfway point. And they didn't against LSU. I thought they played – I mean, it was just terrific football. And when you consider they just got Utsi back and they've had some injury issues with Ladarius Bishop, who's kind of been rotating at the second DB or corner spot with Hudson Clark. And then, of course, you lost Jalen Catalon for the year. And Miles Slusher, sophomore, steps in, has a pick. I forgot his tackle. I think he ended with like 6 or 7 tackles. But the defense responded, Mark. I mean, I wasn't completely shocked why they benched, and I don't understand this. Why they went with a freshman over Max Johnson after just 2 series was just puzzling. I know Nussmeier, I think his dad is like a quarterback coach for the Cowboys or something, but I do not understand that decision. But at the same time, it's not like Max Johnson went out and looked great in his first 2 drives, but it was only 2 drives. But Arkansas, I think, regardless, I feel like they wanted the boot back in Fayetteville, and the defensive effort was tremendous. KJ Jefferson decided in the second half, you're just not going to sack me. You can do whatever you want. You can bring whatever blitzes and whatever you want to do. I'm not getting sacked. I'm just going to take this game over in the second half. And he's just so strong. Good grief. I mean, not only does he have a cannon for an arm, but he can elude tackles. He can elude defenders. Then he could just flat out run people over. I mean, he's like a tank, So yeah, it was a combination of a couple things, but I would definitely tip the cap to the defense and KJ Jefferson. Burks was nowhere to be found in this game. Like in a game like this, you would expect if you saw an Arkansas victory but had no idea what the stat sheet looked like, well, then you would assume, oh, okay, well, KJ probably ran wild and Treylon Burks had a good game. No, Burks, I don't even think he eclipsed 50 total yards of offense. I mean, he was completely limited in this game, and not from an receiving. Injury. Say that again.
16 receiving.
Yeah, I think he had 1 carry for 5 yards or something. So yeah, he didn't even break 30 yards of offense. So Arkansas found a way, and that's what mattered at the end of the day, and got it done in overtime. And Mo Brown, again, another great INT there in the end zone. I think he's tied for second in the SEC in interception. So it was a combination of several things, but definitely it came down to the play of KJ Jefferson and in the Arkansas defense. Offense, yeah, there were some concerns in that game. Raheem Sanders was not fully healthy, who's kind of taken over as the second running back in that offense behind Dominic Johnson. But yeah, they still found a way to pull it out. It was impressive.
Please like the video, share these videos out on social media, subscribe right here at the Voice of College Football, and head on over to Pig Trail Network. Lock it in with Ty right there. Arkansas post game, Arkansas content, live streams throughout the week. Any particular days, nights, times that you're going live besides the post game?
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 o'clock. And according to my YouTube analytics, as you and I talk about from time to time, that's actually kind of the worst time to go live, but it's made the most sense just for me and my schedule here. There may be some changes. I might switch some things up, maybe going into the spring, but for right now, it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 a.m. Central Time, and for, of course, basketball. We had a basketball game last night. I went live after that, so I'm doing post games as long as the Razorbacks are on TV, as long as the men's basketball and football team are on TV. I'll be there with post game shows.
All right, folks. Also, Christmas is coming. You're already shopping. You're on Amazon. We know that. So grab the link in the description section that we offer to help us build the channel here at the Voice of College Football. All right, Bama's coming up. So Bama looked human against LSU and Florida, lost to Texas A&M. So there's 3 games in the SEC out of 6 that they've not looked up to par. Then they'll come out and blow out a Mississippi State, Ole Miss, really good teams there. Okay, you're not feeling good about this situation coming in. Is that because of just talent gap, or is it a matchup issue that you see?
Maybe both. Yeah. I would say both. Bama, just look at them on offense. Bryce Young, Arkansas secondary. I would say since halfway point, their secondary is on a decline. Catalon being out is a big part of that. Mo Brown had to play at least a solid game and a half. And I don't remember who the injury was against. I think it might have been Ole Miss, where he was seen hobbling around. He seems to be healthier, but still, since then, then you have this situation with Ladarius Bishop and how healthy is he? What's going on? And you're trying to rotate in this true sophomore in Miles Slusher, trying to get him going. So Bryce Young he's the second leading passer in the SEC. He's already over 3,000 yards, 29 touchdowns. And who does he have to throw to? Jamison Williams. I mean, he leads the SEC in receiving yards with 1,020 something, 28, 10 touchdowns. That'll be an interesting matchup, by the way, him versus Mo Brown, or if he's lined up at all against Ladarius Bishop, who's typically when he's on the field, he's one of the fastest players on the field, no matter the team. It'll be interesting to see how they deal with him. But, it's a matchup issue. It's a talent gap issue. It's, Nick Saban, how long has he been at Bama? I mean, he's dead. I mean, we're beating a dead horse. He's so established. He is the king of college football coaches, and will go down as, I think, the greatest head coach of all time. So you're playing at their place. It's just all these combinations of things. Yeah, I think the spread last I saw was 20. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I don't know that this thing is at all within reach for the Razorbacks. Now, if it were neutral site or at home, maybe it would be a little bit more, assuming Bama showed up like they did. Well, didn't show up like they didn't show up against A&M, and it were at home, I'd feel a lot better about that possibility. The fact that maybe Bama kind of has one of their off games, but even then, it would be a tough game. Yeah, I mean, it's Bama. I think that it kind of just goes without saying that they haven't lost to Arkansas since 2006, since the Darren McFadden era. I mean, I got married that year, Mark. I mean, so maybe, I don't know. I told my wife, I was joking around. No, I said it in a live stream. That's what it was. I said, maybe we should get a divorce, and then after the game, we remarry. We give it a second try after the Razorbacks. Maybe possibly find a way to beat Bama. And then if that happens, we can get remarried and then kind of do the same thing every other year. I don't know.
Every other year. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to let you know, if you're only going to do that once, do you want to burn that on this year?
Maybe. Yeah. You probably got a pretty good point there. Wait till they're at home and it's, the odds are on your side. Then you're playing the odds. You're probably right about that. Yeah. But it's been a minute. It's been a long time since they've beaten the Crimson Tide. And, I don't know. I'm almost willing to burn sage and I don't know, do whatever I can to tip the football gods into allowing the Razorbacks to finally break this losing streak. But look, it's understandable. A lot of teams have a losing streak to the Crimson Tide. It is what it is. They're the best, or the most consistent team for almost 2 decades.
Yeah, they're the
That's
standard.
saying a lot.
They are the standard since 08 when a particular coach showed up in 07, and then they took off in 08. Talk about odds. Now, this is something that we addressed before we started to record that is not going to happen. But, hey, we're media types that like to talk and like to think about what's possible. And so there is a 6-way tie possible, as you well know, in the SEC Western Division. I stumbled upon this not because I heard about it, but I was going through thinking, okay, I'm going to post videos on each division race and run through the scenarios and the possibilities. So I just ran into this myself, thought there can be a 6-way tie at the end of the season, 6 of the 7 teams going 5-3. And what's crazy about it, Ty, is that it's all feasible except Alabama losing twice. And obviously that holds the whole thing in the balance for any kind of tie, is Alabama's got to lose 2 games. They've got a 2-game lead, only 1 on Ole Miss, but they got the tiebreaker. So Alabama's only lost 1 game at 5-1, but they lose the final 2. So 2 good teams, but 2 teams that they'll certainly be a more than decided favorite against, Arkansas and Auburn. Mississippi State beats Ole Miss. Texas A&M beats LSU. Arkansas beats Mizzou, and Auburn beats South Carolina. It creates a 5-3 record for 6 teams.
Yeah. Well, and what I take away from that is, first off, Bama, for that to be the case, for this to even be within the reach or what, whatever you want to call it, is that Bama has been inconsistent this year. That's the only reason why it's like this. A&M did not meet up to the standards, and obviously they're missing Kellen Mond big time over there on offense. But and then you have to factor in the fact that Mississippi State's playing better football, Arkansas is playing better football, LSU's down. So all these kind of contributing factors. But I think also it speaks to the middle of the pack of the SEC, which is it's pretty freaking tough. The gauntlet in this conference is ridiculous. And you look at Arkansas' schedule this year. Holy crap! I mean, A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss, Auburn, all back-to-back. Those are all games that you played in consecutive weeks. And then you come out of that because you play UAPB, and you go into your bye week, and then you're right back at it with some more tough pieces of this SEC West gauntlet. Yeah, a lot of contributing factors for that. Obviously, I think you and I agree that Bama they're going to finish out the year 2-0. I know I kind of let it slip there, but yeah, I'm definitely not taking the Razorbacks this Saturday. I don't think that's any secret, but yeah, it kind of speaks to a number of different things, I think, but most of all, it kind of says, all right, well, Bama clearly has kind of slipped back a little bit for this to be the case, but also a combination of the fact that a couple other teams are playing a lot better this year.
Ty Hudson, Pig Trail Network, head on over there. Even if you're not an Arkansas fan, it's just fun discussion, fun to listen to. So head on over there, check it out. Give him some support right there. Pig Trail Network.